I just played Portal for the first time, and it was more fun than I thought it would be. Not to say that I didn't think it would be fun, but that the bar was high and it still managed to exceed my expectations. Of course, I knew about some things like the cake is a lie and GLaDOS being ridiculous but in the best ways. But that was about it. Or, well, in like 2008 I played Portal Flash version, which was a fan-made 2D platformer using the Portal mechanics. So while I did know about the mechanics themselves, it had been almost 20 years since I played anything close to it. God, I'm getting old. Anyways, the controls were great, for the most part. It's a great physics engine and it's fun to experiment with. That being said, there were some moments that were a bit difficult. The way portals twist and turn the perspective when you go through them can be really wonky and disorienting. Like, if you fall through a portal placed on the floor and exit from another floor-facing portal, the game rotates your camera to stay upright. The problem is that it's slow and it goes against your mouse movement, which makes aiming a real pain. However, I'm more than willing to cut some slack to a physics-based game that came out in 2007. Like, when this game came out, I can absolutely see the hype that came from it. And I haven't even talked about GLaDOS yet, and I'm still not going to. Yet. First, the level design is seriously fun. Walking through and puzzle solving feels satisfying and rewarding. I really liked the way the game slowly gives you more pieces and mechanics to learn without overwhelming you. At first, it directly tells you and shows you how these work, but once you get to the second part of the game, it shows you how things work and lets you solve it yourself. Again, it's a fun game. It allows you to experiment by giving you enough checkpoints to fail often without getting frustrated about having to do the whole level over. Fast respawns are peak game design. But Portal has some seriously memorable characters in it too. You have GLaDOS, the girl on the other side of the portal, the guy in the walls that gives you hints, the companion cube.
Employees and all test subjects, you euthanized your faithful companion cube more quickly than any test subject on record. Congratulations.
And the turrets that have surprisingly endearing quotes.
Hey. No hard feelings. Put me down.
So, if the level design and physics are the body of the game, GLaDOS is the heart. With just one of those, even a game of this caliber could be lost to the sands of time. But the combination of both is what really makes Portal stay in people's hearts. GLaDOS is the great AI that assists the researchers at Aperture. And you may be asking, wait, didn't she try to kill everyone with neurotoxins? And the answer is yes, but they gave her fantastic personality cores afterwards to keep her more controllable. Did it work? I don't think so, but that's okay. She's perfect the way she is, and she really carries the emotional attachment to the game.
We will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2. Didn't we have some fun, though? Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like,
no way.
And then I was all, we pretended we were going to murder you. That was great.
Now, she does stop talking as much during the second part of the game, which is my only real criticism, but it's not actual criticism. We'll come back to why later. But hey, speaking of the second part of the game, I had no idea any of this existed prior to playing it. I thought it was just a few levels of the lab design challenges, and then you did it! Good job!
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake.
Then I thought the game ended when you became the cake? But no, there's a lot of game left to love afterwards. And the second half of Portal is where the game really hits its stride mechanically and thematically. The level design is really impressive. Like I said before, I love the way the game lets you figure things out yourself. It trusts the player that's made it this far to keep putting new pieces together and finish the game. And the atmosphere of the second half is really something. The white lights and walls are replaced by warm, natural colors and dark environments, and it's quiet. It's a brand new experience. It felt darker, maybe even desperate, but more than that, it felt lonely. GLaDOS stops chiming in, so it's just you trying to escape. It really feels like a survival game at that point. Honestly, I would have been fine if the game ended with you just going in the oven.
It was a fun test, and we're all impressed at how much you won. The test is over.
But that was all set up for the real experience that Portal has to offer. Looking back, I think what really got me, beyond the puzzles and jokes and clever writing, was how quietly meaningful the game ended up being. Portal starts as this tightly controlled, sterile experience. You're in a clean white box being told where to go, what to do, and when to do it. And it's fun. GLaDOS is cracking jokes, the mechanics are novel, and you're just vibing through the tests. But then something shifts. The white walls peel back, the voices go silent, and it's just you. No more directions, no more sarcastic quips. It's quiet. And that silence hit harder than I expected. Because suddenly the game trusts you. It stops holding your hand. You've learned the rules, and now it lets you play for real. But there's also this creeping realization that you were never free. You were part of a controlled system designed to feel like progress, and when you finally break out, that progress becomes real because it's no longer designed for you. You're not solving puzzles anymore. You're surviving, escaping, becoming. That moment when the silence sets in felt hauntingly familiar. Like a metaphor for growing up in a way. Life starts off structured with your parents, teachers, routines, but then one day you're just out there. No instructions, just quiet. And you have to figure out what comes next. It's exciting, but it's also a little scary and, well, a little lonely. And maybe that's the genius of Portal. It's not some simple puzzle game, it's a journey from obedience to agency, from being part of the system to actively breaking it, from silence imposed by design to silence earned by escape. And that feeling of being alone but finally free, that silence, that's what's going to stick with me longer than the puzzles. Hey, thanks for listening to a dude talk about an almost 20-year-old game. My goal for the channel, for the foreseeable future anyway, is to stream a short game on Mondays, then on that Friday put out a video like this one. Part review, part retrospective, part overthinking. If you want to watch me struggle through something live, hey, come hang out and chat. Or if you just like these deeper post-game breakdowns, that's cool too. Here are some of the other games I'm thinking about playing. I'm leaning towards Titanfall 2 or Endling at the moment to play next week, but don't worry, I'll definitely play Portal 2 soon. If you've got suggestions, drop them in the comments. I'm looking for short games that I can beat in 1 or 2 sittings. Subscribe if you want or don't. Either way, thank you for watching. I love you.